Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and welcome to IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. It's so great to be with you again on this wonderful Thursday morning. We shoot them all different times, so you guys can pop in whenever it works for you. And we have a great show for you today. If you're new, you'll notice a QR code at the top right. Just take your phone app. It's really easy to do. Launch your phone app, point that to the screen. You'll see the link tree, and then just click on that yellow button if you're on your iPhone, and it will direct you right to my site. If you have any problems getting to my link tree, then all you have to do is visit your web browser and go to believemeachieve.com. You'll see John's Daily National Date video, JC Academy TikTok. Excuse me. You'll see John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur channel. Inspirations for Your Life, JC Academy Business Coaching, and so much more that you're going to want to check that out, friends. All right. If you are coming back, welcome back. My friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates, really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You know how we roll, everyone. We start on a Saturday, and we roll to a Friday, and we have a new master topic every week. Well, what is that master topic? Well, before I give you that, I hope some of the new people become loyal, just like the people that have been with me for so very long. Really means a lot that you're here. Master topic time. How to brainstorm, everyone. All right. We've been talking about brainstorming all week. We have one more day to talk about it. That's usually where I give you the creme de la creme on Friday. That's like the best. But you still need to understand what's going on before we can actually, have that master ending, I'd call it. So when we brainstorm, it's a way of getting our mind to release the critical faculties, things that might be stifling us from coming up with those great ideas. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? But when we think of different types of brainstorming, right? There are different types. It depends on who you are, what's best and things like that. But for whatever reason, some brainstorming works for some people and some brainstorming works for other people. So I think it just depends on what that is. And so, I think that's the main thing that you have to understand is that not all brainstorming works for everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just brainstorming is a technique. Now, people say to me, John, when did brainstorming, that's what everybody always asks me, John, when did brainstorming first start? Well, that's a very good question. And brainstorming started a long time ago. Long time ago. It was in 1953 that Alex Osborne introduced the process of brainstorming along with illustrations of success stories of the BBDO in applied imagination, and really started to get a handle of what brainstorming was and that it was a journey. And so brainstorming is a success of basically taking where we are now and cultivating creativity. General Electric's used it, Home and Gardens, Kraft Foods, RCA, and dozens of other companies. There were Yale studies conducted, including one by Donald Taylor, Paul Berry, and Clifford Block in 1958. And the objective of the study was to prove that individuals could generate more ideas on their own when compared to groups of people who brainstorm. So the study utilized 96% from Yale. Half of the students were made to come up with creative solutions to problems individually, and the other half were divided in groups of 4 to brainstorm creative solutions to the problems they were presented. The groups of 4 were led by student leaders, and the result of the study showed that individuals came up with more creative solutions to problems when compared to the groups of 4. Seemingly enough, the results of the study generated the notion that individual brainstorming was more productive than group brainstorming due to the way the word brainstorming was used within the research procedure. So what this taught us is that we had to change the way we are brainstorming. We needed to make the group effort be individualized. But how did we do that? I mean, brainstorming itself, many people didn't understand it. So I think the problem was is that everybody was too restricted, right? They were too restricted. But if we want to answer the question, what is brainstorming? It lets us develop creative solutions to our challenges. And I'd like to quote Alex Finicki Osborne, who was an advertising manager who popularized the message, as I said, in 1953. His book, Applied Imagination. 10 years later, he proposed that teams could double their creativity of output with brainstorming in 1963. So it was the way that it was being done. And when that changed, creativity started to blossom. So there are 4 basic rules to brainstorming, according to Osborne from 1963. Number 1, no criticism. Criticism, if it exists, will definitely block people from sharing what they feel. Welcome unusual ideas. Those unusual ideas are welcomed, and normally they're easier to tame down than to tame up. So that's a good thing. Quantity is wanted. We want more quantity than quality. You always hear me talking about quality, but in brainstorming, we want quantity. The reason is because we want to get more and we want to figure out what makes sense, combine and improve the ideas. So how do you brainstorm? Well, you gather participants. That's one way. And you give them a topic. And then you have a record keeper write down those things. See, when you make it as a process, even though it's a group, it's still individualized because brainstorming happens individually, but then it can be shared collectively with the group. Isn't that pretty cool? So if you're in this think tank and somebody says to you, okay, how can we make our product better? I'm not asking one person, and somebody might raise their hand. Maybe we should give a longer trial period. Okay. Maybe we should change our pricing options. Okay. So these are all things that go on the board. And then people can chime in to say yes, no, or, they're totally off or yes. So I think those are definitely important things, right? But it's not something that happens overnight. Brainstorming is a process. You heard me say that right. Brainstorming is a process, according to Alex Osborne, right? So brainstorming is a process. And if you think that you understand it right away, you don't. You have to be clear about the challenge or the problem before you even sit down to brainstorm. Then you have to decide what tools you're going to use. Focus on the ideas, narrow it down, and present your findings. It's important that when you have other people and they see what's there, they're going to come up with things because it's going to trigger their mind to actually share other thoughts, some related, some not. I think that is just so very, very powerful. So according to a well-known paper that was written, Susan Adams, who was a former staff member of Forbes, who was the senior editor in charge of Forbes education coverage. Step 1 is lay out the problem you want to solve. Step 2 is identify the objective of the possible solution. Step 3, try to generate solutions individually. Step 4, once you've gotten clear on your problems, your objectives and your personal solutions to the problems, work as a group. Because you see, when you work as a group, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that we all believe that things are going to happen a certain way, right? But when we're in a group, that dichotomy takes a whole different perspective. That's right. I said a whole different perspective. How and why? Well, it's because our brains gravitate to what we're comfortable with, right? And so someone else might be more comfortable with one topic. Another person might be more comfortable with something else. But how do you make brainstorming work? I think the most important thing about brainstorming is you have to see it as a creative process. Yes, there has to be some structure, but if there's too many rules in brainstorming, it's going to become no fun. And your mind's be like, I don't want to do this. So we want to try to limit the critical faculties. We want to have some control, but we also want to make sure that that creativity kind of shines through. And when we can make it fun, we can take a trip, we can go outside. Don't brainstorm at your desk if you can help it. Go outside. Take a pad. You don't need your laptop. Take a pad if you want, and just write things down. I find that when you use a piece of paper in your brainstorm, it's amazing how things can flow than if you were using a laptop. I don't know why that is. I think it's just because of the connection to things being manual. Now, technology is great, but I find that a lot of good ideas come from doing things with just a pen and a piece of paper. I think that is something that would probably blow a lot of people away. And when I say brainstorming, I say that brainstorming is really a way of life, right? So the best company at brainstorming, who do you think that is? So there are top companies, I'm sure you know. And some of the top companies, you probably remember, like, Cisco, Meraki, Whole Foods, Viva, Motorola Solutions, Hinge, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, Affirm, Epsilon, Restaurant Brands International, Avant, Basis Technologies, RightPoint, SoundMind, the Black Tux, and there's a few others. But the point is that these companies have built an incubation center chamber program that nurtures ideas. You heard me right. I said nurtures ideas. The main reason people are not successful is not because they don't want to be successful. It's because they don't want to nurture ideas. They expect everything to just come tomorrow, but it won't come tomorrow. We need to understand that. The secret to successful brainstorming is to be clear, define that challenge, define that problem, and that problem should be written out very well so everyone can see it and understand it, and people can start thinking about it. So we've talked about lots of different types of brainstorming, right? You can come up with bad ideas first, break and build new ideas, play word games, create a mood board, play improv games, doodle, change your physical environment. And remember, don't invite too many people. A brainstorming session should probably be anywhere from about maybe 5 to 15 people. You don't really want too many. 20 would be okay, but that's a lot. I would probably keep it like 8 to 15 is probably like the max, but I think 8 to 10 is like a sweet spot. So the thing is, when you have too many people there, it becomes more of a challenge of, well, I can't speak. I can't get my ideas across. And everybody gets so interested in wanting to share what they have, but they become frustrated. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am by now. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic day. I hope you'll like, love, and support my channel. Definitely comment below about what are you doing for brainstorming? Why aren't you brainstorming? And of course, I would love you to comment about it, but tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go ahead and visit over to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a savory slice of watermelon, a delicious hot chocolate, or a refreshing beverage. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to empower you with the fuel that could change your life. But remember, you have to make the choice to want to do this. I can't force you. I can only lead you to the water. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you tomorrow for the final masterclass of how to brainstorm. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to summarize everything, and it's going to be a blast. So have yourself a good one. And what are you waiting for? Let's start brainstorming. Take care, everyone.